So you won't be able to hear the wind outside. It's really cold, so I'm gonna wear the hoodie to keep me a little bit warmer. I'm not like a hood villain or anything, so it's just literally for warm. Starting off on the 20.5 for the US30. These higher frames are a bit difficult because you don't necessarily get to see a clean oscillation or a switch that the oscillator can provide from an information perspective. So I'm not sure if this is a turning point to the upside or if there's a continuation to the downside. I'm assuming it's a continuation to the downside. What I am going to do though is bring out the protractor and start looking at where there are joining points for this information. And it feels to me as if we do have some more travel into the downside before we go back up again. So I'm going to leave it as that. Move down to the 512. 4 seems to be in here though. All right, so luckily the lower frames give us a better clarity report on what's happening on above, and that helps us get that full scale over there and start from the top. Okay, so trend direction, it's quite close to 2. Slight uptrend, but I'm not expecting price to break 3. Okay, so anything above 3 will not necessarily be something that makes a lot of sense here. We're already at the middle of the cycle from a turning point spacing arena. So over here, got a lot of space to get there, but I don't foresee it doing that, is what I'm trying to say. So 4 to 5, lots of space. And this says to me to stay in trend, I'll be buying low and selling high. So moving up with the trend. Scaling looks a little bit tight. Let me expand that a little bit more. We're in kill zone, the higher frame, which is dangerous for us to make trades in. That scaling looks more responsible for the time being. Kill zone, as I mentioned, so we're still inside kill zone. Time projection. So if I put my ray down there, vertical ray. Okay, that's some possibility as we passed there already. That seems to be like an option for us to consider. Another option for us to consider, it was there, but this is more focused on the cube route. All right, so from oscillator perspective, it's thinning out, but it hasn't switched just yet. The price projection suggests if we can get into this first option, there seems to be not enough information to support that. Perhaps if we get into something a bit tighter like that, that's not necessarily going to work either. Let me just switch it out to there. That looks better for me. So I'm going to take that away and then start honing in on this probability. So I'm going to leave a marker there to say that this is where we expect the probability to be. And then I'm just going to just tidy that up. So I'm going to take away the areas of where I don't see price going. On the Dow Jones 1 to 8, I've had to use the resonance rings to set a turning point in the gray area, which is a closed bell setup. It's a bit trickier when you do that. So accuracy kind of drops a little to the fact that you have to use your ability to line the chart up in the correct manner. Thankfully for me, I don't trade the 128. The 128 is there just to feed information down to the 32 minutes and the 2 minutes. So it's not like I'm placing my trades in the 128. What I'm ideally looking for here is the direction of trend overall, which seems to be up. And the PRI starts there, so it's going to be up for a while. I'll keep my eye on this guy. It's not necessarily the best setup to set your base information from right now. And I'll move it on to 32 instead with that in mind. All right, so some more up action over here. What I'm looking for is the next turning point, which I don't think we've come to the end to as yet. So I don't think 3 is in, and that's why there's an energetic spurt to the upside, because 4 will start over here or somewhere along those lines. And for it to come down to 4 means a lot of a downward regression, which I don't think the shapes on the upper frames are going to support. So yeah, buy low, sell high. It is quite late in the transition, so I wouldn't set my targets too deep. I'm not going to personally trade this and allow it to just build itself out. Here on the day trade chart, you've got 7, 8, or maybe just in there, a 7 going down a bit more and so on. So yeah, I want to set this one out until later on today, and then buy low, sell high by the looks of things. I'll update the MTOPS members when we get closer to open bell.